the injury, did you know right away how severe it was?
I knew I'd hurt it pretty bad. When I hit the ground, I put my head down, and I knew that I'd hurt it bad. I knew that I'd hurt it really bad. And I get up, and as I'm trying to, and the fans in Detroit were pretty fired up with me because I'd been running around a little bit. And they were all cheering that I'd hit the ground, and I got up, and I see the fans, and I'm like, and I just wanted to adjust my helmet because I'd hit my head pretty hard. And I tried to get my right arm to come up and to adjust my helmet. And I couldn't really get it all the way up there. At that moment, I knew like I'd hurt it bad, but there was absolutely no way that I was letting anybody know that I'd hurt it bad. And when I got off the ice, and I fell down behind the bench and I couldn't get up.
Definitely hurt us losing Shane, whether we admit it or not. He was playing so well in the playoffs. He was bringing so much energy. He was getting like 10 hits a game. Their D weren't going back to get pucks. He was doing little things that weren't getting noticed, but he was leading us, and it hurt us a little bit.
I did everything I could to convince Tip to let me play in that Game 7.
It was tough because he came into the locker room every day, and he thought he'd play that night or the next night, and he was. It was tough to read off of his emotion, but he came to the rink every day in high spirits, and just to try to get us going so we could get to the next round and maybe we could have been back.
Game 6, I thought there was a chance. I was really sore, but there was a chance. I shot at the puck and I was semi-okay. And then they said, well, we'll win Game 6 and then you'll play Game 7.
I've seen him play through a lot of stuff. You know, he was playing before the playoffs there with a rib injury that, as hockey players, that's probably one of the worst things you can get. Just the little bumps and bruises, the pains, the twisting, it all comes from your rib cage, and he had one out. So to play through that, he's a warrior. I've seen him play through pulled hamstrings. I've seen him play through groins. I've seen him play through a million things. To not be able to see him play was obviously not frustrating. It was frustrating for me because I was like, okay, Shane, you're hurt. Like, take your time off, get some rest. We'll try to win it for you. But knowing him, he wanted to be out there. It's been so long since he went. It was hard, and obviously, you lose a guy like that, and he cares that much. That makes you want to care that much. I think everybody did.
And they said I couldn't play in Game 7. That was as close as to like really losing it as I've been in a dressing room with guys. Because usually, you're in the dressing room with guys, you're kind of like, whatever, I had to get out of there, and I kind of got out of there in a hurry, and everyone kind of left me alone. And I'd waited 8 years. I waited 8 years to play in the playoffs. And I'd watched a lot of playoff hockey. And now I'm watching my own guys play, and I think that I can help. And I'm sitting there watching.
When you're in the heat of the moment, you try to say, we can do it without him. It's just one guy, but he's definitely more than just one guy for us. He was a guy who was going out there and giving his 100% every shift. And the Red Wings knew when he was on the ice, and so did we, because he was so good. He was leading us. He was playing like a man possessed. Like he was. It looked like he hadn't been in the playoffs for a while because he was really on a mission, and it was a tough loss for us. And I think if he didn't go down, I don't think we would have lost it.
One of the reasons people ask me why you've never left. Why have you never ever left? Why didn't whenever? And I've said my job is not done. It's not done until you win the Stanley Cup. It's not done until you get out of the first round of the playoffs. If we had even made it out of the first round of the playoffs, you'd feel like you've accomplished something that hasn't been done here before me and hasn't been done since I've been here. And we will get out of the first round of the playoffs. We will.
Later tonight, we'll hear what Shane Doan's father, Bernie Doan, told him, some words of wisdom.